my hair okay? Sure. Cute. Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, we are remaking an old classic, the good old chicken parmesan, you know? I made chicken parm here in Laura in the Kitchen probably close to 10 years ago. We are coming up on the 10-year Laura in the Kitchen anniversary. And I haven't done this here in a long time. I make it very differently than I did back then. I don't add any olives. I don't add a whole lot. I keep it very simple. I make a little ricotta sauce for the chicken. I mean, it's just to die for, but it's very simple and it's delicious. It's what my family loves. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know a few weeks ago my sister came over. She requested it. I made it for her. I shared it with you, and I had overwhelming amounts of you asking for an updated recipe. I think you guys really appreciate really easy home food. The kind of food that just makes you feel good, you appreciate that, because when you see it on my Instagram, which we're very active on, it's a thing that speaks to you the most. A beautiful picture of a wonderful dish is wonderful, but when you see home cooking, you really get excited. So that's how I know we're good friends, you know, because I love me some home cooking. What I have in here is a little olive oil. I just turned it on, and you can see that I added the onion and the garlic to cold oil because I want the onion and the garlic to just sort of soften, but I don't want it to really caramelize. We're going to make a quick sauce. I've got that. I've got really good San Marzano tomatoes, really juicy, lovely. They're whole plum tomatoes, and I just sort of like crushed them by hand because I love that rustic look and feel of it. Fresh basil. I've got some salt, and that's all you need to make the sauce. Once the sauce is going, then we make our chicken cutlets. Then we layer. Then we bake. It's phenomenal. You're going to love it. I'm going to keep an eye on this. When it's ready, I'm going to add the tomatoes. Looks good. Add your tomatoes. If your sauce that the tomatoes come in is a little thick, just add a splash of water. I'll do that. I'll just probably add like a quarter cup of water in here. Add it to that. A few leaves of vasinigol. That's a dialect for basilico, which would be basil. A good pinch of salt, and now I'm just going to let this simmer. I'm going to partially cover it, add a splash of water, let it simmer for about, I don't know, half hour or so. In the meantime, we're going to get all the fixings ready for the chicken cutlets. We need chicken breast. You can do this with thighs, but I use chicken breast. Chicken breast, breadcrumbs, eggs, parmigiano, salt, a little oil to fry them in, a fresh mozzarella for them to dip, a little bit of pasta for the side. I'm very hungry, that's why I can't stop. I'm gonna let this go and then we'll continue. All right, let's talk cutlets. I've got a couple of eggs, some breadcrumbs. These are Italian breadcrumbs, plain breadcrumbs will do. And I've got some chicken breasts. These were two really big chicken breasts. They were close to about 12 ounces a piece. I just slice them lengthwise, make sure they're all the same thickness from top to bottom, and they are beautiful and perfect and ready to go. Do not use chicken breasts that are real thin, because what happens is when you put the sauce on and you put the cheese and you pop them in the oven, they will overcook and become really tough and rubbery. You're looking for chicken breasts that are about yay thick, okay? Maybe a quarter to a half of an inch. Beautiful, because you still want it to be juicy on the inside if you're doing chicken parm. If you were doing just a plain old chicken cutlet, you want it thin, crispy, and delish. I've got some vegetable oil. You can use, I have some light olive oil coming to temperature. You can use vegetable oil, I meant to say. I want that nice and hot, but not burned, so keep an eye on that. I've got a few eggs. To the eggs, I'm going to grate in some Parmigiano Reggiano. I don't really do the whole flour and egg thing and breadcrumb thing anymore when it comes to my chicken cutlets, just because I don't feel like it's necessary. I put a little bit of Parm in there, and it thickens the eggs, and it makes the chicken really sort of adhere, so it works out perfectly. A good pinch of salt to both. You want, you know, every layer of your dish to be delicious delight. Whisk your eggs. You can add a splash of milk if you want to. Again, I don't think it's necessary, so I'm not gonna, but you can if you want to. I'm all Tony Soprano on you, you know? We've been starting to watch the series all over again because Joe's never seen it, and we're obsessed. All right, whiskeroo. This with my hands, real easy home cooking, you know? The kind that just makes everything better. I'm gonna do this with my hands because my hands are clean and I can. You do a little dipperoo, right? Dipping and dipping. and a nice dredge. Take your other hand, your dry hand as I call it. Make sure you coat your chicken. Flip that around, and as much as I love breading, you want to make sure you shake off any excess because I don't want it to just burn in the oil. Anyway, shake that off. Look at the parm on there. Hot oil. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna do the rest. They'll probably take a few minutes on each side. I want to make sure that they're cooked, but not overcooked. And remember, they're gonna go in the oven for like 10 minutes or so to melt the cheese. So they will carry on cooking a little bit. Just keep an eye on them. You want them golden brown. Delish. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let me move those to the side. Look at that color. Yes. All right. I've got my sauce here. Remember that sauce that we were simmering for a while? To this, what do I want to do? I like a little richness. I love ricotta with my sauce. I love ricotta with my pasta. So I add some right in, okay, along with a hefty grating of Parmigiano, and it just makes the sauce extra luscious. You don't have to do this, but you know, as an Italian household, there's always about 99.9% chance that there's ricotta in the house. And so if there is, stir that in, and it makes it infinitely so much better. And if you ever grew up when your nonna or your mom or your zia made sauce on Sundays with rigatoni, with meat sauce, a lot of times they'd add ricotta in it. Sometimes they'd bake it like a baked ziti. Sometimes they wouldn't. Put some of that in there, right? Reserve a little bit for your pasta. If you need little pieces of ricotta, it's fine. It's gonna go in the oven. It's gonna do a nice little melt-a-roo and be perfect. I'm just gonna try and move things out of my way a tiny bit. There we are. And then I've got my oven preheated nice and hot. I have it to 425 because I just want to put this in there long enough to kind of melt the cheese and get everything bubbly and delicious. Nobody wants overcooked anything. And then I just do, plus I don't want to get that breading super soggy. I just do a little sauce kind of right in the middle because you've got the sauce at the base as well. And you can always serve some on the side. My mouth is watering. Fresh mozz. Get the mozz that's like this, not the real wet kind, because the real wet kind is going to add too much moisture to this and make it way too watery. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of Parm. And I'm going to pop this in a 425 oven until everything is golden brown delicious. I've got my pasta boiling, and then I'm going to meet you back here for a nice plate of Sunday dinner. My sister's not here, but when she watches this, she's going to be so mad. How gorgeous. Just came out of the oven. It was in there about 10 minutes. The exact time it took for me to boil up some pasta. Whoa, just splashed sauce all over myself. But you know what? That's fine. I've got a little more ricotta and mozzarella. Add that straight in. A little bit of Parmigiano. I'm going to add a little bit more to this because you know what? It's chicken parm, people. Chicken parm. Just toss everything together. You kind of want the ricotta to melt a bit. Look at that. Add that into a large bowl. Got your delicious, creamy, delicious pasta. How many times can I say delicious? But it is delicious. I want this guy right here. Right onto my plate. Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes. A little extra sauce on top. I welcome you to Sunday dinner. Look at that cheese. You know it's going to be good. I was going to get that right in my mouth, but I'll embarrass myself. You know it's going to be good. Let's look at this. My goodness. Look at that. Messy. But you know what? It's all good. Oh, brother. If your chicken parm is not deliciously creamy, saucy, so cheesy, and a little crispy from the cutlet, you're doing it wrong, my friend. I can't get this cheese to get off my knife. Hot. No words. So hot, y'all. Mmm. So hot. Mmm. It was hot, but well worth it, because that's how you eat chicken parm. When it's hot and it's gooey and it's ooey and it's delicious. Risotto pasta, it's everything and more. Go to laurainthekitchen.com, get the written recipe. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me. I'm staring at it like we're long lost lovers. I'll see you next time. Bye. Let it cool just a little bit.